Howdy folks, hope you're all having a good one, and welcome back to World of Warships with Rear Admiral Jingles, where once again the replay is bugged, so you can't see the enemy team's lineup, but don't worry, I've enabled the team icon display on both sides of the screen during the actual replay itself, and today we have one of those battles where if you tried to pull the same kind of stunts that today's hero does, you would end up dead within the first 3 minutes of the battle. But, well, there's a reason why it's called a high-risk, high-reward style of gameplay. If you don't take the risks, you don't get the rewards. But then again, I mean, that's the trick really, isn't it? Knowing when to take the risks. So, this is, said bro? You know, I'm just going to call him bro. In the Soviet Tier 10... Is this a premium? I mean, you can only get it for steel. It's a steel ship. Technically, I suppose it is a type of premium. The Stalingrad. Yes, the legendary Stalingrad. Not quite as legendary as it used to be. I mean, don't get me wrong. Make no mistake about it. The Stalingrad is still a very, very good ship. But it's not quite as legendary as it used to be thanks to the old power creep. But it's still very, very good. There's a good reason why this was the #1 cruiser pick in the King of the Seas tournament for as long as it was. Actually, there is more than one very good reason. Let's just list them. First, it has radar. Actually, there's a lot of radar in this battle. I don't know if you saw the team lineup at the beginning, but there are 5 radars on this team. 2 Baltimores, an Ignacio Allende, the Stalingrad, obviously, and there was one other. Oh, yes, the Alaska. And there's only 1 destroyer in play on each team, so good luck with that. Now, that doesn't, of course, mean that the enemy team have 5 radars as well. We won't know for sure until we see exactly what cruisers they have, but they're likely to have some. I realise the World of Warships matchmaker does like to stack all of the useful consumables on one team and give the enemy team nothing. Well, not necessarily the enemy team. Sometimes it's your team that has nothing. What is that thing? So that's the French cruiser, the Carnot. Does it just... Does he... How did... Well, I know it doesn't have radar, because it's French. Is he trying to get torpedoes away? Does he think he's in a destroyer? Why would you give broadside to a Stalingrad's guns like that? Because there's only one thing that's going to happen, and it's that. I suppose now is as good a time as any to talk about the Stalingrad's guns, as he trains them on the Cleveland over there. This ship has 12 305mm guns. These were the biggest guns available on a cruiser in the entire game at one point. And they're bigger guns than you get on some battleships. The German Scharnhorst only has 285mm guns. These are bigger guns. And they only have a 21-second reload as well, which is long for a cruiser, but I mean, they're big guns. The other interesting thing about the gruns? English is hard. The other interesting thing about these guns is their accuracy. They have a combination of some of the best and worst accuracy characteristics in the game. They've got the highest Sigma rating, so if you watch, there's very little vertical dispersion. Pretty much all of these shells are landing on the same horizontal line. The only problem is that horizontal line is rather wide. So you will see the shots disperse quite far, further than almost every other cruiser, I think, to the left and right. But if you aim at the waterline, they're all pretty much going to hit at the waterline. Which means this Cleveland over here is actually doing the right thing. Well, relatively speaking, putting himself in a position where he was going to get shot at by a Stalingrad in the first place was bad, but he is nose in, presenting as narrow as possible a target profile, which means the majority of the shots that Bro fires are probably going to miss to the left or the right, but anything that does hit, because these are rather big guns, they're going to hurt. And there goes the Cleveland. Scratch 1 enemy radar cruiser. That's the enemy team's 3rd casualty overall. Bro's team have yet to suffer 1, although the enemy team are the only ones currently fighting for possession of a cap circle, and they have just managed to score their first kill by nailing... Oh wow. Despite the presence of, count them, 5 radars on Bro's team, the enemy Z-23, their one and only destroyer, has actually managed to get a kill on the Hindenburg. I mean, he probably didn't do it alone, but that's still pretty impressive. Oh look, the enemy team have a Stalingrad of their own. And he's an utter scumbag. He's surfing the map border. The reason why this is a scumbag move is because there's an element of aim assist in World of Warships when you lock onto a target. Like the Frederick the Great over there. You can try it for yourself. Try shooting at a target that you don't have a lock on. Oh, enemy submarine. Not sure why the St. Vincent is charging it, but we'll try to help him out. But yes, there's an element of aim assist when you lock onto a target that ensures that your shots are more accurate than when you're not locked onto a target, and you can put this to the test yourself. The problem... Oh, and he's caused a flood on the submarine. And his depth charges will be back off cooldown any second now, so he hopefully will be able to do it again. Somehow the St. Vincent survived. And he's currently being focused by both the Frederick Great and that border-humping scumbag Stalingrad over there, which is great news for Bro. Unfortunately, it's going to be difficult for him to capitalise on it because the Stalingrad is humping the border. And when you're humping the border like that, even though you are giving broadside to another Stalingrad, and should have been dead many, many times over with the amount of shots that Bro has pumped in this guy's direction, I'm pretty sure that that Stalingrad is perfectly aware of the general brain fart that the game's aim assist suffers when locked onto a target on the map border. I mean, yep, Bra did just score a citadel, but look at how many shots he's had to fire in order to get it. That Stalingrad should have been dead a minute ago, but he's humping the border, so it takes this long to kill him. Wargaming, of course, insists that this map border aim assist bug isn't a problem. A bug that's been in the game since day one, by the way. But we know that they're lying. You can... Oh, he's got the submarine. Nice. You can always tell when Wargaming are lying. You can see their lips moving. That's the trick, you see. If you can see their lips moving, you know they're lying to you. We know that Wargaming consider this to be a problem because if you ask Wargaming, they fixed it. Years ago, they introduced a feature where if a ship's on the border, it slowly starts reducing in engine power until it becomes immobilised. But that doesn't fix the problem, Wargaming. The problem is you can't hit something that's on the border. Making it stop doesn't fix the problem. At which point Wargaming said, sorry, we can't hear you. Oh, look over there, a new premium ship for you to buy. Meanwhile, the Frederick the Great, he has a bit of a problem here, because at some point he's going to have to turn to the right in order to join up with the rest of his teammates. And the second he does that, he's going to get spanked. Now, the Stalingrad isn't going to be able to citadel a Frederick the Great, in common with a lot of German battleships, and has a turtleback armour arrangement that basically makes it immune to citadels, especially the closer you are. And he's pretty close, but he's still going to take large amounts of armour-piercing chunk damage, even if it's extremely unlikely that he's going to take a citadel. It's not a comfortable situation for Bro either. Oh, the team have just lost the Grosser Kurfürst. Because even though the Frederick the Great is armed with 16-inch guns, the Stalingrad has sufficient bow armour that its bows cannot be overmatched by 16-inch guns. You can tell, as he goes for the side armour shot there, that he's starting to get a bit desperate. But if you're not going to get through the bows, you're definitely not going to get through the angled belt, and as the Frederick the Great turns in order to try to get his front turrets firing, Bro finishes the job. And that, kids, was the Kraken Unleashed, putting his team 1 kill ahead after the loss of the Grosser Kurfürst earlier. His team have suffered 5 casualties. What's more impressive is that the enemy team have suffered 6, and yes, that's only 1 more, but 5 of them were inflicted by Bro here, with the entire 11 other ships on his team only accounting for 1 enemy kill between them, although they are doing a pretty good job with the cap circles. But Bro's great work on this flank has now allowed him to get into the honeymoon position, as all of those enemy ships are angling against his teammates. They're giving nice big flat broadsides to him. Oh, hello, the Nacho Vargas. Yes, that's the name of the ship now. That's what I'm calling it, because Michael Mando is a fantastic actor, and Breaking Bad and Better Call Saul were some of the greatest television shows ever. The Nacho Vargas over there has just realised the shit that he's in. Oh, wow, he got away with that. Can he make it into cover before the Stalingrad reloads? Yep, you know you've been seen. Yep, you're firing back. No, it's not going to do you any good, because no, you cannot get into cover before the Stalingrad reloads. And there's kill number 6. Oh, they have just lost their Cossack. Actually, you know, that's not bad, considering that there were... I don't actually know how many radars there were on the enemy team, but it was definitely more than 0. Which is an extremely hostile environment in which to be playing a destroyer. So props to the Cossack for surviving as long as he did, but he's dead now, so let's move on. The enemy team are down to 160 points, and they've pretty much just given up on the cap circles at this point, and that's when, oh, actually, the Z-23 is still alive. Well done to him for, I mean, you know, 5 radars on Bro's team, so he's done pretty well too. And while Stalingrad armor piercing is almost certainly just going to over-penetrate on a destroyer, and the high explosive shells on the Stalingrad are not very good, when the Z-23 gets respotted, and it's on that amount of health, even over-penetrations are going to do the job, and there's kill number 7. We do now, however, find ourselves in something of a good news, bad news situation, because while they are definitely ahead, and it's difficult to see how they could lose, especially if the enemy continue to give broadside to Bro's guns like that, but his team have lost all of their battleships. Admittedly, they only started with 3, but they're now all dead, and I've just realised that the St. Vincent I was talking about earlier was in fact a Duncan. Oops. That's a St. Vincent. And while both the St. Vincent and the Duncan are not technically battleships, they're battle cruisers, they still have battleship guns, and those are guns that Bro is definitely going to have to angle against, which is fine, because the ships that could actually spank his broadside are all concerned with his teammates. Oh, hang on a second. A Salem. Enemy cruiser. Yeah, you always take the opportunity to spank the broadside of an enemy cruiser whenever you get the chance. And you get rewarded with citadels. What on earth is the St. Vincent doing? Is he giving broadside in order to get his torpedoes away? Oh, choices. Do you finish the Salem? Well, it is a good cruiser, and while we don't really need to worry about its radar anymore, it also has a very, very good heel, so if you have the opportunity to delete a Salem, you should probably take it. And the rest of the team are shooting at it, but look at the broadside opportunity that this St. Vincent is giving. You know what, this is just too good an opportunity to pass up. If he's determined to get his single torpedo away, and he's going to give a target like that to shoot at in order to do so, well, he's just going to get his cheeks clapped. And of course, with pretty much all of the guns in the front, once you're behind him, there's not a lot he can do. That's 309,000 damage. I think the only reason the St. Vincent is still alive and not already decorating the ocean bottom is because he popped his super heel the instant he took that first clapping. My god, the Salem's still alive. Will somebody please kill... Thank you. Right, so somebody else on the team does actually manage to kill something. I think most of the damage that Ra suffered there was from the double fire inflicted by the Salem, which is still burning, and there's not an awful lot he can do about it. Oh well, we're just going to have to clap that St. Vincent again. He is kind of caught between the Pommern and the St. Vincent now. Oh, hang on a second. The enemy do still have another submarine. Depth charge attacks out. The enemy team are down to 100 points. There is a 554 point difference. They have none of the cap circles. The Pommern's given broadside now. The St. Vincent just won't die. But then the depth charges sink the U-190, dropping the enemy team down to 60 points. Somebody finally finishes off the St. Vincent. And that is a, let's face it, probably nobody was surprised that it was going to be a victory, but with 8 kills under his belt, and honestly, I think he was robbed there. It should have been 9. He should have gotten the St. Vincent as well. But I'm pretty sure we could all agree that 8 kills is absolutely nothing to be ashamed of, and 340,000 damage. The only thing surprising about this result is that it wasn't a 4,000 base experience match. He's just going to have to settle for 3,300. Holy shit. So, yeah, the Stalingrad. It's still pretty good. Hope you enjoyed today's video, and as always, take care, and I'll catch you next time.